He's a 10, but he has poor hygiene.
Zero.
Zero? Damn.
Zero.
Straight to it.
Damn.
Zero. You can't be stinking. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Is it important for one to consider a man's hygiene before dating the man? Does a man's hygiene tell if the man is going to be a good man in a relationship or not?
Ladies, don't be dating these men to have poor, low hygiene. It's not cute, it's not appropriate, it gives up very much careless behavior. If a man don't care about his personal hygiene, internal and external hygiene, he's not gonna treat you well. He's not gonna care for you. He barely cares for himself. If his hygiene is on low, that means he doesn't care for himself, or no one around him.
20% of men wear the same underwear for a week. And 5% said that they would stretch this to 2 or 3 weeks. Oh my. This is why men get a bad rep for being unhygienic. Like, this does not speak for all of us. Some are attributing it to the rising cost of living. But one, it's not worth putting your body in danger with all that bacteria. And two, I just bought more underwear so I didn't have to run a load as frequently. So guys, please tell me I'm not the only hygienic one out there.
The perception that men have poor hygiene is influenced by various factors such as social factors, cultural factors, and psychological factors.
I didn't realize how many men out there really consider hygiene to be feminine. And when I say hygiene, I mean like doing your eyebrows as a man, cleaning under your fingernails, making sure your beard is trimmed and brushed, grooming yourself. I just found out that half of men in America don't even wash between their ass crack. They just let the water run through. Yeah, y'all got to sit with that too.
Cultural and social norms does affect men's hygiene. In some cultures, it's been believed that grooming and good hygiene, personal hygiene, is feminine. It's what women do. It's not what men are expected to do. So because of that, a lot of men grow up in a dirty environment. They grow up not knowing how to take care of their own body and their environment. They grow up being dirty and nasty because their culture perceives personal hygiene, personal grooming to be feminine. Is a thing of the ladies, and men are not supposed to do things of the ladies.
Ironically, yes, a disproportionate amount of men are unhygienic. And the reason so many men are unhygienic is because of the same social pressures that she talks about in that video. The idea that personal hygiene is feminine, that shaving your body hair is feminine. So lately I've seen a lot of women discussing personal hygiene and body hair, leg hair, armpit hair, but I don't hear men talking about this at all. I actually do shave my armpits, and I started doing it solely for hygienic reasons. My skin reacts negatively to a lot of deodorants, and the deodorants that I can use tend to be really hard to wash out of hair. So I just started shaving my armpits. I smell better, I feel better, and personally I think I look better. When I'm teaching for 8 to 10 hours at a time, I don't get pit stains like I used to. I just like everything about it better. But as a man, especially as a cishet man, it's very frowned upon to shave any body hair at all because it's feminine. So a lot of men would rather stink than to shave their body hair. And that brings me to other areas of men's bodies. And this is gonna get gross. So trigger warning, we're talking about men's hygiene, and men's hygiene is gross. But I think this is worth talking about because I don't think I've ever heard a single man talk about this. Men's bodies continue to change throughout puberty and well into your late 20s, sometimes early 30s. And one of the changes that we go through is just more hair in general. And one of the places that hair starts to grow is inside your crack. For some people, it's a lot of hair. For some people, it's not much hair at all. So when we talk about how a lot of cishet men won't even wash their booty hole, imagine if it's more difficult for them to wash because there's hair there. These are the same men who refuse to use a bidet and refuse to use wet wipes because it's too feminine. That hair that grows in that particular spot is a big part of why there are a lot of men who stink in that area, who have brown streaks in their underwear because they just can't get it clean. So if we can't convince men to clean their booty holes, imagine trying to convince men that it's okay to shave that hair off because you will smell better and feel better and everything will be clean. Personally,
the upbringing and the education of the boy child also affects his personal hygiene when he grows up, even as a child. If a child was not brought up in an environment where he was taught personal hygiene, if he was not educated on personal hygiene, he's definitely going to grow up not understanding the importance of personal hygiene, not practicing personal hygiene. And if you date someone like that, do you know what is going to happen? You're definitely going to be the person's caretaker, the person's carer, the person's personal hygiene groomer. Is that what you want to do?
I tell my fiance that his hygiene is a problem. Hello, Hayes. My fiance doesn't have the best hygiene, and it's negatively impacting our intimacy and our relationship. I love him so much, but it's difficult for me to be affectionate if he hasn't showered or if his breath is bad. His halitosis can be so extreme, and I've asked him to talk to a dentist or a doctor to see if there's anything they can do to help. I always try to communicate this from a loving and supportive place, but he takes it personally, gets upset, and doesn't make changes. How can I approach this in a way that doesn't upset him and will result in long-term improvements to his hygiene practices? Ooh, God, that was a close one. I got it. Before we dive into this problem, and it is a problem, let's just normalize for a second that we all smell sometimes. Doesn't mean you love someone any less if you prefer to be with them when they don't have body odor. I don't like to make out in the morning, like dry kisses only before the teeth have been brushed. That is not what we're talking about in this letter. This is beyond morning breath. Your use of the word halitosis? Halitosis. I didn't know what that meant. It's the clinical term for an oral health problem. This problem is about your fiance's fully developed poor hygiene habits that make you not want to be close to him and that he refuses to address. No matter the topic area, if the person that you're planning to marry has a habit that regularly makes you not want to be affectionate with them, that's something you must address before you get married. Do not make the mistake of assuming the problem will go away once you're married. Marriage is not a band-aid, it's a microscope. This is a super serious thing, and I would position it to him that way. Maybe he hasn't cared about it because he doesn't understand how big of a problem it is. I'd be like, I'm concerned about your hygiene, love. Like, I love you, but when you don't shower and refuse to address the bad breath, it makes me not want to be physically close to you. Can't begin our marriage this way. Why don't you want to go to the doctor? One would assume that because you're getting engaged, you know a lot about him. So I'm wondering if there's any personal backstory about the way he grew up that might make him super sensitive or hesitant to address these hygiene issues. Maybe he didn't have access to showers or oral health care growing up. If he doesn't have access to a doctor now, that's a completely different type of video, but I assume you would have mentioned that to me. If this is related to something in his past, like, you still gotta work through that together because it's presenting a big issue for you now. And ultimately, love, like, people have different hygiene practices. If your fiance reeks, but it doesn't bother you, you want to maintain this relationship, then like that's great. If it does bother you, if it's impacting your ability to be close, like that, you gotta figure that out. You gotta tell them.
Toxic masculinity also affects men's hygiene. Some men are of the opinion that taking care of yourself is not a man thing. Yeah. And when they see men doing that, they're so quick to tag those men gay. So because of that, they intentionally neglect their hygiene. I've read somewhere that narcissists are also dirty. They have poor hygiene. They don't take care of their toenails. Sometimes you might see a man that is good looking and you approach him. Once he opens his mouth, the breath stinks. Yeah, bad breath. Sometimes bad breath does come from the stomach. When you have that kind of a situation, you need to meet a medical doctor to assist you. But when it comes to the bad breath that comes from the mouth, then you should focus on brushing your teeth, and brushing your tongue is important. Brushing your teeth alone will not do it. You need to scrape your tongue to remove those food debris there that causes bad breath. But some men don't care because they feel like this has to do with femininity and they don't want to be perceived as being feminine, so they don't care about their breath. Some men don't care about their nails. They don't take care of their toenails, their fingernails. Some men have ashy skin, but they carry their shoulders high and act like they're too masculine or they're alpha male. There's not an alpha in the male there, honestly.
Sat here in a bonnet, you already know I'm here to chat my shit. As a man, why do you smell? Yes, why do you smell? There's nothing that irritates me more than a man that smells. Because men be like, oh, it takes us 15 minutes to get ready. Cool. All you actually have to do is shower. As a man, all you actually have to do is shower. Make sure you smell fresh. Make sure you smell clean. I don't even care about your outfit. You can actually wear a Primark white t-shirt, some nice grey shorts, and some white Air Forces, and I'ma still look at you like the guy that's wearing B22s. So why have you left your yard reeking? I will actually never understand how men smell. I don't get it. Do you not have deodorant? There's a whole section full of men deodorant. Sure, Mitchum, Dove. So why as a man are you smelling like piss? Them type of smells you have to hold in when he's talking to you, trying to move to you, and you're just like, why am I holding my breath when you're trying to chat to me? Why am I literally, I cannot breathe. I can't live a life because you're trying to chat to me and you smell. It doesn't make sense. Like when a girl smells, I can low-key brush it. Low-key. But as a man, you actually just had to make sure you smell fresh. You actually just had to put deodorant on. You actually just had to have a shower, put your outfit on, and go. So why do you smell?
Why? And the reality is, my question is, why are you complaining? When you notice that somebody has a pattern, and a pattern is something that's repeated 3 or more times. Once is nothing, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. After going to his house 3 times and noticing that it's messy, after noticing 3 times he has poor hygiene, why did you stay? The thing is, when we stay after we've noticed there's a pattern, we are staying for the pattern, and we cannot complain about the pattern we are choosing to stay with. We cannot complain about the environment we are choosing for ourselves. The people we choose in our lives are a choice of environment. If you do not like the environment that somebody brings, don't choose that person. Don't stay in this relationship. And above all, don't play the hoping game where you hope this pattern is going to change if you complain enough about it. See, what he's telling himself is, my pattern works. I get to continue my pattern because she stays. There are no consequences to my pattern. Oh, sure, we have these discussions every now and then, but I still get the nookie when I want it. I still get her companionship. And every now and then she gets so tired of this pattern that she does something about it. Oh my God, win-win. So ladies, don't stay for the patterns. Leave the patterns and find yourself a man who's got better patterns.
Some men don't prioritize their health. They would rather focus on other things. They will tell you you're so busy with other things, probably their work, their school, other things that has to do with life, but they don't have that time for their health. It tells you how they think of themselves. It tells you how they value themselves. A man that is dirty, that doesn't take care of himself, that doesn't take care of his environment, is most likely not to care about you, because if he doesn't care about himself, why should he care about you in a relationship? So you just have to make the right decision when you are deciding to be in a relationship with someone. Don't just meet someone because the person is looking all cute, tall, dark, or he meets the criteria, then you hop into a relationship with the person. On this channel, I've spoken about men weaponizing incompetence, men deciding not to contribute to the well-being, the upkeep of a house, men deciding not to contribute to the running of a relationship when it comes to domestication and all that, when it comes to doing house chores. Some men are very intentional about it. They shy away from it. So let's say you're with a man that is dirty. He already has a root problem. He's dirty. He doesn't take care of his environment, and he's been that way. You've noticed that. How then do you expect the man to assist you with domestic chores? Do you know what's most likely to happen in that relationship? Whenever he uses something, he's not going to clean after himself. If he uses a toilet, he might struggle with flushing the toilet. If he goes to pee, he might pee on the floor and he would not wipe it.
Right, so there's something we need to talk about, and you're going to hate me and thank me for it once we talk about it. The pee zone. It's a problem mainly with guys. So this is your regular toilet, right? And I'll show you the pee zone right now. This part I circled around the bottom of the toilet right here, that is a pee zone. So when men, even if they lift up the toilet seat, when they pee, it splashes. It like splashes out onto the floor. And if you look closely enough, if you have tile, you'll see like little spots of urine there. It's called a pee zone. That's one of my pet peeves, is the pee zone. Other people, they put mats near their toilet, so their mats cover up they absorb the pee, so then you don't really see like the glossy dry droplets of like urea on the ground, right? Because that's what pee is made out of. So yeah, that's the pee zone. And just next time you're in the bathroom, just look down. Or yeah, you don't want to touch it. Like, I don't know, pee's not even sanitary. So
if he takes off his clothes, he might just dump it that way and walk off. Do you know what that's going to happen to you? It's going to destroy your mental health, because you will constantly find yourself cleaning after this man. You will constantly find yourself talking to him and making him see reasons why he should clean. And this man is supposed to be a grown-up, not a baby in the relationship. And that will drain you as a human being. It's stressful. It's a stressful situation. You will be putting yourself in a position of a big mommy. You have to mommy an adult. You mommy your children, you mommy the big adult, which is your husband. It can drive your mental health into a state that you'd never thought it would get to, a bad state. So it's important for you to vet the person you've decided to date. Don't go to the person's house, and whenever you go to the person's house, you see dishes and you just sweep it under the carpet. Oh, it's because it's single. Oh, it's because it's a bachelor. Oh, maybe when we get married or when we get together, he's going to fix it. No, those are clear indications. It's telling you who the person is. You go to your man's house, his room is always smelling, his clothes are smelling, he doesn't do his laundry, he doesn't clean up his kitchen, plates are always piled up, plates he used or dishes he used for some days are in the sink, used pots are there, and you're not putting that into consideration. You're making excuses for the person. It's fine, it's okay, but just know that when you get to the person, maybe you're dating the person or you're married to the person, you're definitely going to be the domestic staff in that relationship, and you're going to do it all by yourself. And let me tell you, this is a big problem because people get divorced because of this. It's a major problem in relationship. A major problem in relationship. Because when it comes to domestic house chores, domestic things, partners need to come together. All hands need to be on deck for things to work. When you know that this person is already like this, how then will you make the person to participate? Because it's already something that is ingrained in the person. They grew up that way. It's going to be very difficult for the person to change. It's going to be a struggle. So this is something you have to think about before getting into a relationship with a dirty, nasty, messy man, because it's going to come back and bite you in the butt.
Whenever you're in an environment that is dirty and disorganized, now your visual cortex is feeding your judgment centers of your brain confusion, chaos. It makes you more stressed out. It produces tension. It even can cause depression. And I'm going to just say this, without not even having to quote no scientific, have you ever noticed that a clean car runs better?
What are mandatory things for men hygiene? Don't trip.
We got you. Scraping your tongue. It don't matter if you brush your teeth, floss, mouthwash. If you're not scraping your tongue, your breath is gonna stink, or it will stink eventually. Having a tongue scraper is gonna keep you good for a minute.
What if you just brush it with the toothbrush?
That's good,
That's
but
solid.
get us.
They're like $2. Yeah, it's not that expensive. And Amazon will send you 2 in the pack.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Lip moisturizer. A lot of dudes, I feel like they think it's like feminine, maybe some of them. I don't know. Even just like a nice chapstick.
Okay.
Vaseline.
What about Vaseline again?
Vaseline's a good one.
The cocoa butter one. That's
It's not too shiny.
Hold up.
Exactly. Go, man.
Okay, continue. Okay.
My next one is just a scent, like a you don't have to get a super expensive cologne, but just smell like something like that can automatically make you more attractive. Smelling like that will break my neck.